AITA for refusing to babysit my niece and nephew. Every weekend, I enjoy being with my sister's kids, and I agreed to babysit one Saturday so she and her husband could have a date night. However, this quickly turned into me babysitting both Saturday and Sunday every weekend, without any compensation or food provided for the kids. I tried to say no and offered to babysit once or twice a month, but they were unreasonably angry with me and saying I was selfish. I, 32M, love my sister, Hannah, 35F, and her kids, 5M and 3F. I've always been the fun uncle, and happily agreed when Hannah asked me to babysit one Saturday so she and her husband, Jake, could go on a much-needed date. The kids were great, and I didn't mind helping out. But the next weekend, they asked again, then again the next. What started as one Saturday has now turned into me babysitting both Saturday and Sunday, every weekend. They drop the kids off at 9 a.m. and pick them up around 7 p.m. That's 2 full days of childcare. No pay, no food brought for the kids, no consideration for my time. I work full-time during the week, so my weekends are my only time to relax, hang out with friends, or get things done. I finally told Hannah I couldn't babysit one weekend because I had made plans with friends. She got upset, saying that I didn't understand how hard it was for her and Jake to maintain their relationship and that their marriage was struggling. She implied that my refusal to help could make things worse between them, which made me feel really guilty. She said I was being selfish and that I should step up as a family. I tried to compromise by offering to babysit once or twice a month, but Hannah said that wasn't enough. She said since I don't have kids, I don't understand the stress they're under and that they need this time for their relationship to survive. Now, both Hannah and Jake are upset with me, and even my parents are weighing in, saying I should just help out for the sake of family. The thing is, I do want to help, but I feel like my time is being taken for granted. I love my niece and nephew, but I need my weekends back too. I never agreed to be their full-time nanny, and I'm starting to feel burned out from constantly giving up my plans. I'm torn because I understand they need a break, but I also feel like it's unfair to expect me to give up my entire weekend, every weekend, indefinitely. AITA for refusing to babysit every weekend and wanting to set boundaries with my sister. Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA. So your sister has kids but thinks you should sacrifice your weekends so she could be child-free and have fun. She's delusional. Don't let her rob you of your life. You don't have kids and weekends are your time to relax and have fun. You don't owe your sister a sacrifice she isn't even willing to make. You must work all week and then babysit her kids all weekend? She's not even willing to do that. You are not responsible for her needing a break. Also, which parent gets a break every weekend all weekend unless you're a deadbeat? I can understand her asking you every now and again for a few hours, maybe a one-off weekend. But to take all your weekends? She's massively selfish. Tell your parents for the sake of the family they can help out. A parent is closer kin than a sibling so they can step up for their daughter. Commenter. Your sister is claiming that there are issues in her marriage and they need the time alone. Perhaps you should point out that you work full-time and having her kids every weekend prevents you from finding someone, or if have a partner, from dedicating your time to nurturing your own relationship. Family should not weigh in when they aren't pulling their weight in watching their kids. Commenter. She's not going to care because she has a family and OP doesn't. Even if OP had a partner, she won't see them as a family unless they have kids. The grandparents can lend a hand or they can pay for a sitter. There are options other than OP, but those don't allow them to drop the kids off like they would a non-custodial parent's every weekend custody schedule and not have to pay a dime. They have a sweet deal. Of course, they're going to be mad that they can't shirk their parental responsibilities onto OP. I feel bad for the kids. It's like the parents don't want them. OP. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. You make a good point about the weekends. I don't mind helping out now and then, but sacrificing every weekend just isn't realistic for me. It's exhausting, and I'm not sure why I'm being expected to take on this much when my sister is perfectly capable of managing her own kids. I'll definitely bring up the idea of our parents stepping in more after all. If they feel so strongly about family pitching in, they can help too. It's time to set some healthy boundaries for everyone. Story 2. AITA for calling my husband's mistress fat and old. Fake names. I, 44F, have been so emotional for several weeks. I can't trust my own judgment. Starting around Christmas 2023, I noticed a change in my husband Justin, 44M. He's usually an affectionate and sexual person, but our sex life went downhill. The summer of 2023 was when our son Randall, 19, moved out to university. With Justin and I alone in the house, we were having sex almost every day before the dip. Other suspicious things started happening. He's going out without me more. Woman's perfume on his changes. Being more secretive with his devices ECT. Early September, I managed to get in his laptop while he was asleep. I was expecting to find evidence of an affair, and I had a picture in my head of what the woman would look like. I found a mountain of evidence. There were nude selfies of her, videos of her masturbating, message exchanged, etc. She didn't look like what I was expecting. She looked at least 50 and at least 200 pounds. My husband is very fit, and so am I. He is Hollywood handsome, so I was expecting like some thin 27-year-old woman. I sent as much evidence to my email and socials as I can. I showed my sister Betty, 47F, the evidence. I was so emotional that I was insensitive with my words, especially since my sister has a weight problem. I called my husband's mistress a fat old SLT. Betty said I shouldn't be talking about another woman like that. I was so enraged, and I asked Betty how could she defend the woman who was fucking my husband. Betty said it's no excuse to body shame. I just started crying and Betty hugged me. Obviously my judgment is compromised and I have a bias against my husband's mistress. I hate her so much. But did I go too far with my words? Am I the asshole? Edit. To clear up some things. By the messages, the mistress does know. Justin and her talk about me a lot. She sends happy emojis when Justin talks about how much sexier she is. Justin has messaged her that I'm too thin and muscular. Yes, I am leaving him. I already have a divorce attorney. Even with everything I originally shared, Justin has messaged the mistress that he never loved me. He messaged that he loves her. Second edit. I used to be overweight until around age 21. I would have gained weight, a lot of weight, if Justin had asked me to. Me and the mistress look so much alike apart from the weight, and she's older than me. Third edit. The results are mixed, but I do think I am the asshole. I will apologize to my sister. I will try my best to avoid insulting the mistress's looks. I also hope everyone who reads this update avoids insulting the mistress's looks. Fourth edit. I made an update post explaining what I did yesterday and this morning. I seemed like it may be too long to add here. Update. AITA for calling my husband's mistress fat and old. Thank you to all who left constructive comments. Even if you called me an AH, I appreciate your comment as long as it was constructed. The person who had been my emotional support during this was Justin's sister Kelly, 49F. Before last evening, I have been slowly moving out my stuff into Kelly's home. Last evening, Kelly did me the favor of telling Justin's parents, Bob, 72M, and Ann, 71F. Last evening, I took the last of my stuff, and I went to stay at Kelly's until I can find a place. I made sure to video chat my son Randall first. I can't even remember everything I said, so I will give the main points. I told him that he is the most important thing to his father and I, that we love him, but we are getting divorced. I told him his father was cheating on me, and I told him how to find the mistress Vicky, 58F, on social media. I told my son he doesn't have to hate her, and that he doesn't have to defend me against his father. I told him I was at Kelly's house, and he said he'll visit this weekend. I told him I love you, and he said I love you too. I video chatted my husband Justin. The first I said was, our son, your parents, your sister, and I all know you're cheating. I got some sick satisfaction from the look on his face. I used his mistress's real full name, and I said she looks like me. Justin tried to speak, but I cut him off to say that our son, nor his parents hate him. Justin was apologizing and I said I don't care. I said to just make this divorce as smooth as possible. I don't care to find for anything. I asked him to do me as favor and preserve our son's old room as is. He agreed to do so. I ended the video chat. He tries to call again, but I ignored it. This morning is when I video chatted my sister Betty, but before the video chat, I sent Betty some of the messages Justin had sent to Vicky, where Justin body shamed me. In the video chat, I apologized for body shaming Vicky, and I said I wouldn't do it again. Betty apologized to me that she had brought that up during moment. I told Betty that I was staying at Kelly's. I asked Betty if she believes her husband loves and finds her sexy. Betty said yes. I told her then she should start acting like it. She asked if can come to Kelly's this weekend, and I told my sister that I have enough support. I told her she doesn't need to come, and that she should enjoy her husband who loves her. I was really petty yesterday and this morning, but that is the pettiest I plan on allowing myself to be. I'm in a privileged position that I don't need to fight for money from my soon-to-be ex-husband. I hope he's made this easy, especially since our son knows everything. I'm okay, considering everything. Edit. I do not want my original post, nor my updated post to encourage the hatred of overweight women. I had made a mistake calling her a fat old slut. When I was ages 18, 19, and 20, I was an overweight woman. Hopefully, I will live long enough to be an old woman. I hate Vicky, but not because of her appearance. Story 3. AITA for making my property inaccessible and cutting of a hiking trail. I live in a city with an amazing river valley trail system. I am lucky enough to have purchased a home a couple of decades ago that overlooks the river. 2 years ago, the bank below my property gave way, and part of the trail became too dangerous for people to traverse. The city put up a barrier, and there is a detour up into my neighborhood, and then back down into the valley maybe 1/4 mile down the way. However, my backyard can also be used to continue your walk. I got so many people walking through that I got concerned because of liability. Also, they were littering on my property. I fenced off my yard hard, and now if you want to walk the trail, you have to take the detour. A few of my neighbors have talked to me about it, and one in particular thinks it's a dick move to keep people from enjoying the trail. I have also been yelled at in my backyard by people who used to cut through, and the city has come by to check my property lines, but I did everything right. I don't think I'm the asshole, but a few people have called me exactly that. AITA, relevant comments. Commenter, NTA. The thoughts of people not wanting to walk an extra 1/4 mile while on a walking hike are up there with people who lift weights but don't want to lift them back off the equipment and put them away for the next person. It needs to be treated as part of the experience. You aren't stopping anyone from walking the trail. The trail slipped and became dangerous. It never ran through your property. Commenter, thank you for making that point about people on a walking trail not wanting to walk another 1/4 mile. There is a restaurant near me located in a plaza next to a gym. People who are on the way to the gym always take their few spots because they are closer than the gym parking. Hello? You are on your way to work out. Start it off with a short walk from where you are supposed to park. Story 4. AITA for unintentionally ruining my sister's marriage by catfishing. Her husband? I'm at a loss here and I need some perspective. I'm 27F, very close to my sister, Anna, 32F. She's been married to her husband, Mark, 34M, for 4 years, and I've always admired their relationship. Mark is charming, funny, and everyone in the family loves him, but I've always had this nagging feeling that something was off. It started with small things. Mark making subtle, suggestive comments about my appearance when Anna wasn't around, or messaging me late at night to talk about random stuff. I brushed it off as him just being friendly or maybe a bit tipsy. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it and potentially ruin my sister's happiness over something that could just be my paranoia. Last month, things escalated. Mark texted me, asking if I wanted to meet up for drinks without Anna knowing. That was the last straw. I didn't want to confront him directly because I knew he'd deny it, and I'd end up looking like the bad guy. So I came up with a plan, one that I'm regretting now. I created a fake social media profile of a girl I'll call Emma. She was a typical, attractive girl with interests that I knew Mark was into. I followed him, and he followed back immediately. I started liking his posts, commenting casually, and within a few days, he slid into Emma's DMs. Long story short, over the span of a few weeks, Mark was flirting heavily with Emma. He was sending explicit messages, telling her how unhappy he was in his marriage, and even suggested they meet up. I was disgusted, but also heartbroken for my sister. I screenshotted everything and saved it as proof. I debated for days on what to do, but eventually, I decided I couldn't keep this from Anna. I showed her the messages. At first, she was in disbelief, accusing me of trying to sabotage her marriage. But once she calmed down and really looked at the screenshots, she broke down. Anna confronted Mark, who denied everything at first, saying someone must have hacked his account. But when Anna mentioned Emma by name, he went pale and admitted to everything. He said he was just bored and curious, but swore he'd never actually cheat on her. Now, Anna is staying with me, and she's filed for a divorce. My family is in chaos. My parents are furious at me for meddling and blame me for breaking up their marriage. They say I should have just minded my own business and let Anna figure things out on her own. Even Anna, despite being grateful I told her, sometimes looks at me with this sadness, like I'm the one who brought all this pain into her life. Mark has been sending me angry messages, blaming me for ruining his life and calling me a manipulative bitch. Part of me feels guilty, like I shouldn't have gone as far as I did. But the other part of me is relieved that Anna knows the truth. So, AITA for creating a fake profile to expose my sister's husband? Relevant comments. Commenter, NTA, you didn't force him to take the bait. That's on him. Commenter, you have saved your sister from a cheater. It will hurt now, but she will be much healthier when the initial pain is gone. People might be angry because they like to keep the peace, but ripping the band-aid now has prevented a lot of pain down the line and wasted time for your sister. She should be the priority. Her life, her time, her experiences. Everyone else can F off. Commenter, NTA, like was said, he's the one that took the bait. He's trash. But seriously, what's wrong with your parents? Like you should have let your sister be led on by this bastard? Seriously? As for your sister, sad as it is, you were the bearer of bad news. So even if objectively she knows it's not your fault, it will still be painful for her for a while. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest ones. Have a great day. Have a great